How?
He is the one.
Characters went God mode.
Until at last I threw down my enemy and smote his ruin upon the mountainside.
For this list, we'll be looking at the moments in film when characters obtain or display incredible powers or skills. Since many of these involve important plot points, there will be spoilers ahead. In the comments. Number 20. Wonder Woman crosses no man's land. Wonder Woman. Diana of Themyscira is powerful, even by the standards of her warrior people. Being a Diana and her friends need to get across no man's land in the middle of trench warfare. And while everyone around her insists it's impossible to cross, Diana climbs out of the trench and charges across the field. As she takes all the fire, Diana manages to block automatic weapons and perform incredible leaps. With such a remarkable display, it's no wonder her friends and the Allied troops are inspired to follow her. Number 19. John Murdoch uses the tuning. Dark City. John Murdoch lives in a city of perpetual night, controlled by alien beings known as the Strangers. This hive mind of pale villains alter both the landscape of the city and the memories of its residents regularly, partially through an ability called tuning.
Somehow, you have developed their ability to tune. That is how they change things. That is how they built this city.
While the Strangers intend to implant Murdoch with their own memories, human scientist Dr. Daniel Schreiber alters Murdoch's memories so that he learns how to use the tuning, but retains his humanity. This lets Murdoch engage in a reality-warping battle with the Strangers' leader, Mr. Book. Murdoch and Book throw psychic blasts at each other, reshape the city around them, and fly through the air. Their tune may not be godlike, but it's certainly in the same key.
I knew you could do it, John. You have their power now. You control their machines.
Number 18. Buddhist Palm. Kung Fu Hustle. Singh is a perpetual troublemaker whose actions put a rundown slum in danger from the Axe Gang. However, after a thorough beating from superhuman kung fu legend The Beast, the gang's new leader, Singh's latent chi, is released and his knowledge of Buddhist Palm unearthed. Singh then proceeds to beat up the entirety of the Axe Gang, cartoonishly crushing their toes and knocking them into the sky with abandon. He's then challenged by the Beast, whose frog-like fighting style and appearance sends Singh flying into the sky. However, Singh uses the ultimate Buddhist palm technique and flattens the Beast, and shows him he still has much to learn. Singh's effortless fighting style and massive hand shockwaves are downright heavenly. Number 17. Hallway Shootout. Equilibrium. John Preston may act as an enforcer for a dystopian regime bent on suppressing emotions, but when he starts to feel, the villains should beware.
Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. I assume you dream, Preston.
Enraged at DuPont, the secret leader of the government, Preston escapes his capture and makes a dramatic assault on DuPont's office. Using his training in an impractical yet amazing gun-based martial art, Preston tears his way through goons in a long hallway. He does flips, sets up clips for him to reload ahead of time, and somehow doesn't manage to get hit by the dozens of rifle-toting guards. It's a superhuman bit of gunplay that still has us in awe. Number 16. Thor, God of Thunder. Thor Ragnarok. Thor faces a lot of challenges in his third solo movie, but easily the biggest is his sister Hela, the goddess of death.
No one's going anywhere. I'll get that sword, even if I have to kill every single one of them to do it.
When she cuts out Thor's eye and sets her minions against the fleeing people of Asgard, things look dire. However, a vision of Thor's father Odin reminds Thor that his lost hammer Mjolnir was merely a way for him to focus his powers, not the source of it.
That hammer was to help you control your power, to focus it. It's never your source of strength.
He descends from the sky in a bolt of lightning, fighting through waves of Hela's soldiers, they don't stand a chance against the God of Thunder. It makes for one awesome sequence, and feels even more divine thanks to the help from Led Zeppelin. Number 15, 100%, Lucy. Throughout this sci-fi film, we see the titular character gain increasingly fantastical abilities as she uses her brain to its fullest capacity. It's not a scientifically accurate premise, but it makes for a thrilling movie. Once Lucy closes in on 100%, she gains the ability to travel through space and time. Her abilities include being able to pause, rewind, and accelerate time as if the world was just a movie. Her journey takes her back to the beginning of human life and planet Earth. Eventually, Lucy leaves her body behind and is everywhere. While it may only be 15th on our list, Lucy's God Mode moment may best illustrate what being a god would truly be like. Number 14. Star-Lord uses his celestial powers. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Peter Quill's reunion with his father starts off well, albeit in a weird way. His dad, Ego, is a celestial, a godlike alien being the size of a planet after all.
Everything is me.
But revelations about Ego's plan to expand his influence across the galaxy, as well as the fact that he killed Peter's mother, sour things between them significantly.
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
While his friends work to set a bomb that will kill Ego, Quill awakens his own celestial abilities to distract them.
You shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
Their clash sees the two using their abilities to literally reshape the world around them in powerful and occasionally funny ways. It makes for a crazy fight scene and features Quill at his strongest, although his dance moves are also pretty powerful.
Drax thinks you're not a dancer.
If you ever tell anyone about this, I will kill you.
Number 13. Fight with 10 black belts. Ip Man. For most of his eponymous film, martial arts master Ip Man displays calm restraint in his fights, but he holds nothing back when he learns that his friend has been killed after a match with the occupying Japanese to obtain a bag of rice. Challenging 10 black belts at once, Ip Man brutally defeats them all. Ip's rage is palpable throughout the scene as he effortlessly handles master fighters, breaking limbs and pummeling them all into submission. Breathtaking, heartbreaking, and terrifying all at once, Ip Man may not have any special powers, but that only makes this fight even more phenomenal.
Moto.
Number 11. Darth Vader's Rampage. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. The Rebels' daring raid to acquire the plans to the Death Star cost many lives, including all the main protagonists of the film.
The Force is with me, and I'm one with the Force.
But at least once the plans are in the hands of the Rebels, the danger is over, right? Wrong. Darth Vader boards the Rebel flagship and relentlessly pursues the intel, mowing men down with his lightsaber and throwing them around with the Force. This incredible scene was actually conceptualized late and added as part of reshoots. And thank goodness. It somehow captures all of Darth Vader's might and badassery in one short scene. Number 10. Evelyn fights with kindness. Everything, everywhere, all at once. In this film, Evelyn Wang has maybe one of the weirdest days anyone has ever had. Her rapidly developed ability to shift her mind into versions of herself across the multiverse comes in handy when trying to stop Jobu Tupaki, a version of her daughter, from using an apocalyptic bagel.
Because you see, when you really put everything on a bagel, it becomes this.
Like we said, it's real weird. And while her universe hopping has allowed Evelyn to acquire various skills, the best one she learns is from her husband, Waymond, being kind. As Evelyn fights through Jobu's followers, she uses her ability to not injure them, but rather to make them happy. This ranges from recreating a late wife's perfume to a Rakakuni situation. It's a hilarious and uplifting way to fight.
我理解，但你不是一个服输的人，我又何尝不是？只是我们选择的处理方式不一样。
Number 9. Thor arrives in Wakanda. Avengers: Infinity War. Yeah, we're gonna do 2 Thor moments, but they're in different movies, and we blame their awesomeness.
It's truly awesome.
The God of Thunder is put through the ringer in this movie, with Thanos killing half his people along with his brother.
Loss, regret, they're all tremendous motivators. They really clear the mind, so I'm good to go.
Thor sets out to create a new weapon capable of taking on the Mad Titan. Meanwhile, the Avengers and Wakandans battle Thanos' Outriders, but are badly outnumbered. Just as they are overwhelmed, Thor arrives like a boss, with Rocket and Groot in tow. He uses his new axe, Stormbreaker, to decimate Thanos' forces, turning the tide of the battle.
Bring me Thanos!
This is Thor in his prime. It honestly feels like he can accomplish anything in this moment. Number 8. Harry kills everyone at the church. Kingsman: The Secret Service. The first Kingsman film illustrates early on that secret agent Harry Hart can handle himself. But this scene shows him take it to another level. While Harry is investigating a church, villain Richmond Valentine activates a signal through cell phones to make everyone, including Harry, murderously violent. Because of Harry's training, he's able to be ruthlessly efficient in his programmed directive, tearing through everyone else like tissue paper. When he runs out of bullets, well, he improvises. The free-flowing, brutal action combined with the killer sounds of Lynyrd Skynyrd make for a great combo and a fight scene that's not soon forgotten. Number 7. The Bride versus the Crazy 88. Kill Bill Volume 1. In this roaring rampage of revenge, Beatrix Kiddo, better known as the Bride, attacks a Japanese restaurant in Tokyo to get at her target, Oren Ishii.
When the final sword was sheathed, it was Oren Ishii and her powerful posse, the Crazy 88, that proved the victor.
However, Oren is soon joined by her legion of skilled fighters, the Crazy 88. Vastly outnumbered, the Bride slices and dices her way through dozens of sword-wielding gangsters with creative and outlandish moves at every turn. And while she takes a few hits, mostly from the group's leader, Johnny Moe, the Bride still turns a small army into mincemeats in a matter of minutes.
So, Oren, any more subordinates for me to kill?
Things get epic when the protagonist Neo finally breaks them. After being shot and apparently killed by Agent Smith, Neo doesn't dodge the bullet the agent shoots at him, because he doesn't have to. Neo at last believes. Number 5. Burning Godzilla. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Godzilla is kind of always in God mode. It's in his name after all. However, the iconic monster has received some awesome power-ups over the years. His infinite heat ray moment against Destroya was definitely a contender. It's no wonder the other Titans bow to him. Hail to the king, baby. Number 4. Gandalf versus the Balrog. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings films have had so many epic moments we could have chosen. And while Legolas taking down a squad of Haradrim is super cool,
that still only counts as one.
This one battle counts for many. Gandalf the Wizard holds back the Balrog in the mines of Moria, with only his staff and his sword. While their encounter on the bridge is legendary enough, their battle doesn't end there. Gandalf fights Durin's Bane all the way down for days on end, all the way up the mountains again. The balrog should have known not to mess with the servants of the secret fire.
You shall not pass!
Number 3. The Guardians hold the Power Stone. Guardians of the Galaxy. Turns out using his latent god powers wasn't even the most power Star-Lord ever wielded. The finale of the first Guardians film sees Peter Quill distracting the villain Ronan with a would-be dance-off long enough for his friends to separate the Kree warlord from the Power Stone, one of the Infinity Stones.
What are you doing? I'm distracting you, you big turd blossom.
Quill leaps to catch it, but soon regrets it, since it proves extremely potent, flaking away parts of his body. But as Ronan gloats, Quill's friends hold on to him, spreading the power between them. As it stabilizes, the newly minted Guardians of the Galaxy use the energy to vaporize Ronan and save the galaxy.
We're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Can you imagine how powerful it would have been if they danced? Number 2. Cap wields Mjolnir. Avengers Endgame. Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. Fans had long suspected that Steve Rogers, Captain America himself, would be able to wield Thor's hammer. So when Thanos is about to kill Thor during the final battle and Mjolnir flies through the air back into Cap's hand, we all lost our minds. Cap is not only able to throw the hammer and call it back to him, he's also able to summon lightning, which he uses in a fantastically awesome series of attacks against Thanos. This is Steve Rogers, the formerly skinny kid from Brooklyn, wielding the power of a god. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. I Am Iron Man. Avengers Endgame. We don't usually do multiple entries from one film, but come on. This movie is so epic, and there are so many moments to choose from, like Wanda's revenge on Thanos.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
Iron Man's final stand sees him use sleight of hand and nanites to steal the Infinity Stones from Thanos. He then uses the stones, at the cost of his life, to defeat Thanos and his armies. And sure, technically when Thanos snaps, it's more powerful, since he dusts half the universe.
You should have gone for the head.
But while we're tempted to choose that moment instead, ultimately Tony Stark's iconic final act felt more worthy of celebration. He looks cooler doing it for one. Plus Thanos is already practically a demigod, while Tony is just a man